episode 259 of Doctor Who Time and Space, a weekly Doctor Who podcast on me, Lewis Me.
And me, Dr. Cool.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome again on this Tuesday.
Yes, on Tuesday.
We're messing about a little bit.
Yes. Welcome, guys, anyway. New listeners and old listeners, whether you're... we don't mean that by... We say this pretty much every week, but we don't mean not by age preference, but we mean by... I always medal it up, so it's much worse than it actually is.
Yeah,
but
indeed,
just to tell you...
Get on with it.
Just to tell you, we are eating sweets in the meantime of doing this.
Yeah. Because we can.
All of that. Because, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we have on this week's show?
This week we shall be discussing Malcolm Hulke, and we'll be continuing writer's analysis. It's been a few weeks since writer's analysis because he did the Series 2 overview a couple of weeks ago, so it's kept things a week behind than they should have been. So we'll be looking at Malcolm Hulke, and he's done some fantastic episodes, and we're going to whittle them down to Too Good, Too Bad. I suppose bad will be quite hard to do when we get there, but
we're doing it live. We've not done any pre-work on this, so I can't remember which ones he's written at the moment.
He's written some big ones, so when you get there, you'll know Andy wrote Colony in Space. So
we have a winner.
We have a winner there. But we'll be discussing all things him, including a Too Good, Too Bad, and there's more on what Too Good, Too Bad is later. You're a criminal to this show if you don't know what that is. Yeah.
We will also be reviewing the Matt Smith era Who episode, Dinosaurs on the Spaceship.
Yes, we will. We'll be looking at the latest news and reviews.
And we should be pressing the magic randomizer.
We will. Should we tell them what we've done, or should we?
You can if you want to, yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, go on then.
So we've already pressed the magic randomizer.
Maybe because we don't have the magic randomizer with us.
Yes. So we've got a story plan. We're not going to tell you what it is until the end of the show. We're going to make you wait.
Is it horrible like that?
Yes, and maybe we'll be more horrible by the time we've watched it, according to some of you viewers, probably. So
what you been up to this week then? Who-wise or otherwise?
I've been doing a few things. I didn't listen to any audios last week.
Yeah.
But I've continued Blood of the Daleks this week. So for those of you who have been listening over the last couple of weeks on the podcast, you may know that I've been listening to The Blood of the Daleks, which was the opening story for the Sheridan Smith 8th Doctor Adventures.
Yeah.
Stuffs that I got from a sale from Big Finish, because Big Finish do some wonderful sales every now and again, usually every weekend, and they've done some absolutely fantastic sales, and this is the 99 Tales for 99p one, which is absolutely brilliant. And I've been listening to Blood of the Daleks. It introduces Sheridan Smith, who I'll probably say this for the next few weeks. Do you know who that is?
I can remember the name, but I can't.
Okay, it's good that you can remember the name, because she's quite a big person in British film and television.
Okay.
She plays the companion Lucy Miller, and we've just seen the Daleks' introduction into the story. They've got quite a clever plot. I know this is meant to be a brilliant series. I don't think I'm gonna... I mean, I'd like to, but I'm not going to listen to all of them, because if I get hooked, the first series is on offer at the moment, but I don't really want to get hooked, because then I'll have the cash will be running low, because there's so many of them. There's 4 seasons of them. Okay. But sadly, another reason is I would also want to watch it, but there is a massive twist at the end, which I know what it is. That's a shame. That's a shame. So I don't really want to listen to that. And also, it sounds very shocking, and I wish I didn't know what it was.
Okay. That's good. Anything else that you've been up to?
I've not been much doing much Doctor Who related. I've been watching a few films. I've been continuing my James Bond marathon.
Oh yeah, what have you got to now?
I watched have I watched them since I last saw you? Yeah, I think I have. Live and Let Die, and The Man with the Golden Gun,
Okay.
which are Roger Moore's first Bonds.
Yeah.
Live and Let Die I'd already watched before.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favourite ones.
It's
really good.
It's a classic, folks.
Brilliant. Then there was Man with the Golden Gun, which I haven't watched yet, but it was one that I was really looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
I can't really see why. I mean, maybe some parts could be throwaway, but I don't really see why it's referred to as one of the worst Bonds.
No, I don't either. I really like it.
I really like that one, and there's a lot to love about it.
Yeah.
Next up, it's Spy Who Loved Me, which I'll probably watch
classic
by the time I see you next. So I'll share my thoughts of that when I see you on Saturday, hopefully, on 260. It was I'm really looking forward to that, and Spy Love Me is the last Bond I'm actually anticipating out of all of the Bonds, to be honest.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Apart from Casino Royale, but I'm talking about the classic Bonds here. I'm not anticipating any of the others, because I know I mean, there could be some good ones in there, some hidden gems.
What's your friend? Because one of your friends has been watching all the Bond films as well. Does he tend to think that they get to a certain point and then all go a bit rubbish?
I mean, he's very harsh, so he sort of gives an unfair critique of the Bond films. I think he gave Goldfinger a 5, and then most of the others have got about a 2.
Really? Out of 10?
Out of 5.
Oh, I was going to say.
Sorry,
that's very harsh.
I'm talking film rating.
Yeah.
But it's very. But I think he thinks some of them are quite good. But,
okay.
I think probably after Sean Connery.
Yeah.
He thinks it goes downhill a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else to report on your side of it?
Don't think much.
Yeah.
To be honest, but not really. No.
Okay.
Have you been doing much?
What have I been doing? Watched the finale of season a million or whatever it is of Walking Dead last night, and that was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't classic.
Was it a satisfying finale?
It's pretty satisfying. It was I don't know. It just feels like it sort of teetered out a little bit, but there we have it.
Yeah.
But it was a good finale. Aside from that, I watched the whatever it's called, The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah. What did you think of the last?
So that was quite enjoyable. I thought it was a fun film. I don't think it's. I was talking a bit about it afterwards, and I said it's a very enjoyable film, but it doesn't feel like it's got the magic of the old ones.
I think I really enjoyed Last Jedi when I went to see it. When I watched it the second time, when I'd heard people's critiques and stuff, I was watching out for a few of them, and I did notice them a lot. The bit I hate, I know you probably share my hatred, is the Leia Poppins bit. That's the worst.
Yeah, I hate that bit. I really hated that bit.
I know, that's awful.
It was rubbish, that bit.
Yeah. But there's a few other errors in there. I'm not a big fan of the porgs, whether it's an unpopular or popular opinion. The little creatures.
Oh, I like those.
I
preferred the sort of ice foxes.
I think they got away. I think they sort of distracted us from the actual scene. I thought they had some funny scenes and some cute scenes, but when we got to the battle on Crate and it kept flashing back to the porgs, that was really annoying. The end battle is great in my opinion.
I also, one of the other problems I have with it, as I did with The Force Awakens, I don't really feel like I've bonded with the main characters in the same way as I did with Luke, Han, and Leia. Yeah. So,
do you like Rey as a character?
Rey's okay. The main guy in it,
Finn,
I don't really like that much. Yeah. And the other guy, the pilot guy, I don't really have much time for.
He's not really in that one in too much.
No. So yeah, it's all right.
C-3PO's really wasted in that film, isn't he? C-3PO and R2-D2, they're just sidelined.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I don't have too much of a problem with that because I think they should pay attention to the new characters rather than
In fact, I think that they actually shoehorn in some of the old stuff too much.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm being honest.
It's just, how do they? Because they don't kill Leia off in the end.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't chicken out, and if they were going to kill her off in Leia Poppins, I mean, she kind of died, but then she came back.
I sort of assumed that that was her gone actually.
Me too.
At that point, and I think that would have been quite good. But unfortunately, instead we lost an even more beloved character. It's like spoilers alert.
I've already spoiled it for you.
Thing, but, spoiler alert. We lose,
You've probably watched it now if you care.
We lost Admiral Akbar. What? An even bigger spoiler alert. At the end, you lose Luke Skywalker, presumably.
I don't know. I think he'll be in the next one as a ghost.
Yeah, maybe. I wasn't that bothered though. It's just, it felt like his story was done.
Yeah, it did.
But
the Skywalker saga is almost over.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it was an enjoyable watch.
There's quite a few problems. Like they promised Snoke's identity would be revealed, and it wasn't. He died.
Yeah,
that was spoilers as well. And
the
Andy Serkis.
Oh, right, wasn't it? Andy Serkis. When was he in it?
He was, the mangly face guy.
Was that him? Was it?
Yeah.
That's really weird because I actually thought that the bloke that they picked up in the casino to break the code.
No, that's
I thought
Benicio del Toro.
But initially, when he first came into it, I thought he was Andy Serkis.
Yeah, but that's the guy from The Collector, the guy with like the white hair from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, okay. Yeah. Anyway,
it's not a Star Wars podcast.
No, or a Bond podcast.
Or a Bond podcast. We've whittled on for years and years.
Let's get on with the meat.
Let's get on with the main bit of the news.
Is it time for the news?
It is time for the news.
Okay. Do it then.
Yes, the news. Can I get the news up, please? So we've got to get the news up in front of us. I'm not sure that there's much news this week. There may be a little bit of news.
That's we probably overshot the schedule by miles because we've got more of a time constraint than normal today, haven't we?
We did overshoot the thing by quite a while. Let's look if we've got any features on here. We've done all of that, so let's go straight to my other news site. Let's go back to this. So, Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies have revealed which classic monsters they want back on Doctor Who.
They've had their time.
Yes,
they
I
have
know.
No choice anymore. They can't influence anymore.
I just think, before we get on to which monsters they want, I just think, if they want them so much, why didn't they bring them back in Harriers?
Yeah.
They only name one monster each. I mean, they could easily get them in.
What non-news do we have this week?
When both asked which old aliens they bring back to the Whoniverse on Graham Norton's Radio 2 show, Davies said he'd want the Crotons, not the Croutons, as Norton heard, to return to the series. They were crystallized monsters, and if you think about what you could do with CGI now, with something made out of crystals, he explained. The monsters from planet Crossy Aspe Core have encountered the Doctor on 3 occasions.
Have they?
I didn't know that.
No.
Does it mean comic form?
Maybe.
I don't know. Not on TV, I can't see.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to try and find out.
Okay. Debuting in the 1968 series The Crotons with Patrick Troughton as the Second Doctor. And although the quasi-organic beings have the power to break down their bodies and reform to suit any situation, the Doctor easily beat them in that story with a splash of sulfuric acid. So what about Moffat? He opted to bring back big bug species, God, alliteration, the Wern. They're giant insects, but the old show wasn't able to do them brilliantly. They were in a fantastic story, but the special effects weren't fantastic at this point. I think they would be a fantastic monster now. What are they from? Deco? Doctor Who Trivia, the Wern?
The Wern are in Arkham Space.
They are in Arkham Space.
Yeah.
So the Doctor discovered their vulnerability to electricity in their first appearance in Tom Baker era story, The Ark in Space, and so far their last.
Okay, just to confirm things.
Yep.
The Crotons appeared in season 6, The Crotons. Doctor Who Monthly Special Return of the Crotons.
Okay.
BBC 8th Doctor Adventure Alien Bodies. And...
oh, that must be from the series I'm listening to.
And then a number of other times, Happy Death Day from Doctor Who magazine, and pictures of Josephine Day from the Titan comics, and a mini-series, Lost Dimension.
Oh, really?
So quite a few times, actually.
The Lost Dimension is the new one.
How much of them are canon or not, I guess.
The Lost Dimension is the new one where pretty much every single Doctor's in it.
Really?
The new Titan comics one.
Okay.
Which is, I've got to get up my other news site now.
Yeah. I'm taking the opportunity to have one of these tasty sweets that we're feasting on as we podcast.
I know, and that's very unprofessional, but good for us. Probably not good for you unless you like listening to people eating sweets.
Mm-hmm.
Comics and BBC Studios have announced the road to... Did we talk about this last time? The road to the 13th Doctor.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Did we?
Pretty sure we did. Well, we talked about it. I can't remember if we did it on the podcast, but I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay, I think we did.
Yeah.
The script, let's change that then. The script for the very first episode of Doctor Who, as used by the first Doctor himself, William Hartnell, is being auditioned next month. Or auctioned.
Yeah.
What am I today? The script for An Unearthly Child is 43 pages long and contains blue pencil annotations made by William Hartnell as he was developing the character of the Doctor. It was discovered by the vendor's grandfather whilst refurbishing the home lived in by Hartnell and his wife Heather during the time he was working on the series. The script featured in an episode of Antiques Roadshow shown last Christmas, which I watched. It was quite good. It was a TV and film episode of Antiques Roadshow. It was quite interesting. On the set of EastEnders with June Brown. What better?
Was she one of the antiques?
Yes. Yes, she was.
Yeah, cool.
The script is being sold by Aston's auctioneers and valuers at their film and music memorabilia and comic auctions on Thursday, the 3rd of May. It is expected to raise between £5,000 and £7,000. Let's look up. I must say today, my usual site hasn't released any of the news I need today, so I've got to flick between various sites to find bits of news that I like.
Also, I mean, people that are listening live will have gathered that we're not doing one of our usual pre-recorded ones. We're doing this live on YouTube.
Indeed.
So, which we will then rip off of YouTube and load up on Podomatic.
We will do that, and we don't want to mean that sounds rude. So, David Tennant's Doctor is set to appear in a Jodie Whittaker prequel comic series called The Road to the 13th Doctor.
Yeah, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, we did. I'm joking. Russell T Davies has recently adapted his very first Doctor Who episode for a new novel, which I've got over there somewhere, and included some interesting changes to the original story, which we talked about last week. This isn't the same article.
Oh, right, I was going to say.
But this is just an intro.
It's like a deja vu. This episode, whatever it is.
The best of Doctor Who Times.
Episode 259 seems very much like episode 258.
Yeah, I know. The former showrunner is putting all speculation to bed. People keep asking me if I'll write another episode, Davies wrote in the latest Doctor Who magazine, where he took over the regular production notes column that he used to pen during his time as showrunner from 2005 to 2010. But really, think about it. Go back to the job you had 13 years ago, or go back to your old school. Walk in, say hello, take your old seat, and start giving instructions. Watch everyone's faces shortly before they call the police. There's a wonderful play by Alan Bennett, A Visit from Miss Prothero, which is a ruthless warning against ever feeling you've been missed. Move on, and besides, why look back? The future is golden. Still, fans shouldn't feel too sad of an RTD-less Doctor Who future. If you haven't read it, there's still a brilliant novelisation of Rose to enjoy, and in any case, the screenwriter says he'll never truly leave the universe behind. People keep saying, oh, you're back in Doctor Who, back. But I never went away. I'm a Doctor Who fan. It's permanent. It's indelible. It's instinct. We're sure millions of Whovians around the world can fully understand that sentiment. let's see. One more article.
Okay.
Another thing from Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies is let's skip that bit. The big news for Doctor Who last year was the casting of Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, marking the first time that the face-changing alien has been played by a woman in over 50 years of broadcasting.
This just feels like the whole thing with Jodie Whittaker coming in just feels like news that was such a long time ago now. It
does, doesn't it? It doesn't seem like it was under a year ago.
Yeah, it seems like we've been waiting for it forever.
We have been waiting for it forever, and we're going to be waiting it for even longer because it's October, for goodness sake, and we have to wait until probably San Diego Comic-Con until we get a trailer.
Yeah. Oh,
that's probably what's going to happen. You know, that's what's going to happen.
I don't know when San Diego Comic-Con is.
July.
Oh, right.
And while Doctor Who insiders, past and present, were almost universally delighted by the move, former showrunner Russell T Davies has now acknowledged that he once took pause at the idea of a female Doctor, and so could empathise with fans uncertain about Whittaker's casting. Okay, look, I know some of us might be worried about the changes to come. I worried out loud in print, once or twice, back in the old days, about the reaction of a female Doctor. But do you know what? That was 13 years ago. 13 long years. I've grown up and learnt, and I hope I know better, and the world has grown up too. I'm often tempted to say yes to placate everyone, but while I think the kids will not have a problem with a female Doctor, I think fathers will have a problem because because they will then imagine they will have to describe sex changes to their children. I think fathers can describe sex changes to their children, and I think they should, and it's part of the world. But I think it would simply introduce genitalia into family viewing. You're not talking about actresses or style. You're talking about genitalia. And a lot of parents would get embarrassed. Consider now, if you have...
What is he on about?
I don't know, he always goes on about.
I don't actually think that people will really have a problem with it. I don't think it will raise questions whatsoever.
About genitalia.
I don't think it's going to raise questions about anything. I think in the end, people just get on with it. There'll be people that don't like it.
Yeah.
But they'll just get on with it. I think, as I say, I think kids will just see it as being a new character.
Consider now, if you have problems or fears or doubts about the future, then Doctor Who will come to you and make you laugh and make you a thrill and take your terrors away. The programme will do what the lead character does. No wonder what it's lasted for 55 years. The next 13 years are glittering ahead like a sky full of stars, and we can hardly wait to see them.
Imagine how fun it would have been to have seen the first Doctor, whether played by William Hartnell or played by David Bradley, meet the 13th Doctor.
Yes, that would be brilliant.
That would be interesting.
When would you think this would happen?
Oh, at some point down the line.
Maybe the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, maybe Jodie's last episode at the end of this series.
Yeah, probably.
No, I think Jodie will be there for a couple of years at least.
I think she'll be there because they had some annual details released the other day for the Doctor Who annual in 2019. They already released the details.
Really?
And it said that her first series was the Doctor, so not. And it also said her first trip in the TARDIS, which take it another way, but I think that could perhaps mean that it's one linked adventure. Taking that a weird way. And it said that she'd get a new sonic screwdriver and a newly designed TARDIS.
Yeah, okay.
So a new sonic screwdriver only 2 and a bit years after we last got one.
Do you know, I would be quite happy if they didn't have the sonic screwdriver anymore.
I know.
I think it's become too, well, we've known about this on many occasions, but it's become too much of a get out, isn't it?
It's just a merchandising thing, like BB-8 from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes. Should we move on?
Yeah, probably should.
Sorry, we're both eating sweets.
Really unprofessional, isn't that?
It is really unprofessional, but they're nice sweets. Next up, we're going to be continuing our writer's analysis series with Malcolm Hulke. And I'm just saying, we haven't actually got Malcolm Hulke on the show today, but we are going to be talking about Malcolm Hulke. Yeah. I'm not sure, is he dead? I don't know.
No, I'm not sure either. I know nothing.
Malcolm Hulke was a writer who was very prolific in his stories during the Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee era. I can't remember if he did any for...
He died in 1979.
Oh. That's quite a... can't remember if he did any for Tom Baker. I don't think he did. He's done some absolutely classic stories in the past. Most of them linked to global, like Peter Harness is like the modern day Malcolm Hulke. Most of them sort of linked to global problems. Most of them are either earthbound stories or stories that relate to problems that are going on Earth whilst being in space, like Colony in Space, for example.
I've just looked down his list. Oh my God!
I know, he's absolutely fantastic.
You could argue with there, but he possibly could be the most consistent Who writer of all time.
He could be, yeah. He is absolutely fantastic.
So
and that's the thing. Where do we go with bad?
I don't. There can be too good and too bad. I think we might just have to pick our best ones. Yeah. Because I don't think there's anything bad. Well, people can make up their own mind. There's one that I've not seen, but
what is that? Oh, Frontier.
Oh, there's two I haven't seen. Yeah, you're right.
Faceless Ones, I haven't seen either because it's missing.
Yeah.
And Frontier in Space is again a really good one. It's quite throwaway, but it's really fun.
So, first, can you start by reading off which ones Malcolm wrote?
So he wrote in 1967 with David Ellis. He wrote The Faceless Ones, which is mostly missing all but 2 parts, I think it is. And I watched parts 1 and 3. It looked very interesting.
Yeah,
it looks really good. Sadly, another podcast kind of spoilt it for me. If it's ever found again, what happens at the cliffhanger of part 4, but that's okay. It's not their fault. It's just mine for not watching it.
We've done exactly the same thing relating to the fate of Princess Leia on this particular episode,
and the fate of Admiral Akbar and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that's it. We're not beyond criticism.
We aren't. No. The War Games he wrote with Terrance Dicks. Obviously, that's a monumental 10-episode one.
Yeah.
In 1969, Patrick Troughton's final story. He then wrote Doctor and the Silurians, his first story for John Pertwee, which introduced Homo reptilia to Doctor Who. The Ambassadors of Death, which he wrote with David Whittaker, Terrance Dicks, and Trevor Ray in 1970. So he did 2 co-writes there with Terrance Dicks. I've got to charge this computer in a second. He wrote Colony in Space in 1971.
Yeah.
And he wrote... Thank you. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he wrote...
And he wrote... yeah, sorry. I was distracted there. Could you do this?
What, plug it in?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I was going to, but
Thank
you took over and said you were
sorry.
doing it.
I'm sorry. I just thought you couldn't find it.
I was trying to be seamless. There's every chance I won't find it, but...
he also wrote The Sea Devils, the second story with Homo reptilia.
Yep.
And in 1972. And he also wrote Frontier in Space in 1973, which was the story which was Roger Delgado's last Doctor Who story. Yep. And, you know, it had so much exciting things going on. Okrons, Draconians, Daleks.
Yay.
And his final story was another corker, Invasion of the Dinosaurs from 1974. One which is an underrated gem, I would say.
Very much so.
So,
yeah, there's some cracking episodes.
Yeah, he's also really wrote various Target novelizations.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in that case, I think we're going to do today a new episode, a new thing, which isn't called Too Good Too Bad at all. Okay. Instead, we're going to do something called
Too Good.
Too Good. Where we think about 2 good things related to any given subject.
And 2 bad things. No, just two good things.
Just 2 good things.
And 2 good things relating to any given subject.
Because some things are too good.
And some things are also too good.
So maybe we should both pick 2 episodes this time round.
Yeah.
Rather than... Because there's nothing that's bad there. The ones I've seen, there's nothing that's bad there at all.
Out of all of them, there's nothing that's bad there. And you are right. I don't know whether he is one of the most consistent and best Doctor Who writers of all time, and he takes Doctor Who to quite a different and very interesting front.
So do you want to pick the first one?
Okay.
We'd alternate perhaps.
Okay, of course. Let's see. What one should I pick first? I'm not going to go with the obvious one first. I'm going to go with Ambassadors of Death.
It's a classic.
Ambassadors of Death. Wow. What a good one, Ambassadors of Death.
Yeah. And in fact, we were talking about that only the other week, weren't we?
When were we talking?
When we were doing our best John Pertwee.
Oh, yes, we were.
Yeah.
Ambassadors of Death is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's one that's another underrated gem, I would say.
Yeah.
But Series 7 is perhaps, maybe beating Series 12, actually, the most consistent series of Doctor Who history.
Which one's Series 12?
Tom Baker's first series.
Yeah.
Not Tom Baker's first series is the best.
Yeah.
John Pertwee's first series is the most consistent and second best series.
Okay. Won't argue with that.
Yeah, indeed, because it's got Spearhead and Doctor in the Silurians and Inferno, and that's a brilliant series.
Yeah.
Ambassadors, though, is another one of that series, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the Earthbound ones. It's got Liz in it. It's quite deceiving, and it's a bit like Invasion of the Dinosaurs in some respects, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a very good story, perhaps one that not everyone would like in the Doctor Who universe because it's quite slow and long, but it's a really in-depth and interesting Doctor Who storyline, and I love the 7-part epic with Pertwee. Yeah,
it's quite intense. I think it's good.
It is.
I like it.
It is very different.
Okay, I think I will go to the obvious one.
Okay.
Of course, because of the fact it's got to be in there somewhere, and
has.
that's got to be the War Games, which isn't only the best Malcolm Hulke story, but it's also up there in the top few of the best episodes of all time, I think.
I think it is,
Really well-written story. Doesn't feel like it drags over the 10 episodes. Yeah. 10 episodes. The actual War Games element's really great as well, but it also introduces the Time Lords to us. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's
a sad
really
moment when we lose Patrick Troughton.
And of course, Fraser Hines and Wendell Padbury, because it's a very different farewell for the two of them, and I really like them. The
whole concept of the various different soldiers fighting off against each other and things in these sort of games is just is really good. Really like it.
It is really great.
Okay, so if those are the two good, how about if we look then at the, perhaps rather than 4 good things, we look at the dark horses.
Okay, what do you mean the dark horse?
The things that jump out to you that maybe might be bad to other people.
Okay.
But you really like.
Should we go through the stories?
Can do if you want to.
We could just go through the stories.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some really great dark horses in there.
Yeah.
I just thought we could go through the stories because we'll end up discussing them.
Okay.
If it's a dark horse, tell us.
Okay.
Face of Swords, obviously, we haven't seen.
Don't know anything about that one, personally.
No way to watch that one. That's Polly and Ben's last story.
Okay.
Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Yeah, again, another really, really good one. That's how many parts is that?
7.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that was quite a long one.
Yeah, the bit in the tube.
Yeah.
A bit in the London Underground bit.
Yeah.
That one's quite good.
Yeah.
I really like the whole set.
So good. Such a good story that Chris Chibnall stole it and retold it.
Yeah, and so did most Doctor Who Homo Reptilian stories. What about Colony in Space?
Personal favourite of mine. Really love Colony in Space. If I'm being completely honest with you, we watched it quite relatively early on in the randomizer, and I can't actually remember that much about it now, but I know I really, really enjoyed it. It's another one with the Master in it, isn't it?
Have you only watched it once?
Yeah. But I really loved it. It was quite it sort of changed about halfway through, if I remember rightly, didn't it? But it was all about that sort of little secret colony and things like that. Well, there's some people that had landed on the planet, and then they were trying to make home, hadn't they? And then I think they were being sort of kicked off by these major fuel industry.
I've got a book about Colony in Space.
Have you?
It's not all about the Colony in Space, but it's about 3 Pertwee stories.
Okay.
It's basically it's a magazine, but it's basically a book. It's there somewhere.
Yeah, okay. No, I love Colony in Space. Personal favourite of mine.
Yeah.
That would be my dark horse. In fact, that's when we talk about episodes that aren't particularly highly rated that we personally like. That one always comes up top of my list.
Yeah, I think Time Monster would come at the top for me. You'll have to judge when you get to Time Monster.
Yeah.
I may think it's awful when we get to second watch for it, but
we won't judge that now because Malcolm Hulke didn't write it.
Malcolm Hulke didn't write it.
So what's next?
The Sea Devils, the sequel to the Doctor and the Silurians.
Yeah. Do you think it's as good?
Not quite as good, I don't think, as Doctor and the Silurians.
No.
The first series of John Pertwee is really, really consistent. All of the others are brilliant too, but they're not as consistent. There's usually one which is a bit weak.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Apart from the series 10, maybe. I like all of the stories in the series.
Spoiler alert, everybody, because I can't remember. Is it the Silurians or the Sea Devils where Unit end up blowing them up?
Silurians.
Right, okay. Yeah.
But then that leads on to Ambassadors of Death, so it's not really much of a surprise that both of them wrote it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Both of them were written by Malcolm Hulke.
Yeah, okay.
Frontier in Space, you haven't seen
that
one.
No, not seen it, no.
I love Frontier in Space. Yeah. Peter Capaldi's favourite Doctor Who story.
Yeah. Must be good then.
A brilliant one, fantastic. Love so much about it.
Yeah.
It's just pure Doctor Who. It's brilliant. And it sums up what we love about Doctor Who so much as a show.
Okay.
And the final one is Invasion of the Dinosaurs, my dark horse in the list.
Yeah. No, actually, I mean, although Colony's my dark horse, I prefer Invasion of the Dinosaurs. In fact, Invasion of the Dinosaurs was also, I'm pretty sure, in our top 6 Pertwee episodes.
It was. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Colony in Space wasn't.
No.
But Invasion of the Dinosaurs is an absolutely fantastic one. Loved it from the first time I watched it. Loved it again when we rewatched it on the randomizer. Yeah. I just thought, why is it so low down on the list on Dawn? Why is it in the 100s? It should be in the top 100.
Yeah, but there we have it. That's the way things go sometimes. But it's more demonstrable
top
proof
50.
of Hulke's genius.
It is. So, summing this up then, how does Malcolm Hulke compare to other writers we've discussed on Roast Analysis?
But I think you only have to look on the fact that how many stories have you written there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that?
Yeah.
Of those 8, 3 of those stories, so nearly half of those stories, appeared in our top 6 episodes of a particular Doctor.
Yeah, they did, and War Games also appeared in the top 6 stories of and is the best.
That's it.
Trump one.
Yeah.
So although he did co-write that with Terence Dicks, but he must have wrote part of it.
Yeah. So I think that says everything really. And,
it does. Yeah.
And his stories do have that sort of political dimension, which makes it immediately a bit more interesting.
They do.
Adds a bit of reality to it.
They do.
It? Yeah.
Next time on Writers Analysis, should we discuss a new Who writer?
Yeah.
Let's do next time. Let's do RTD. We haven't really discussed RTD,
no,
so
right.
let's talk about RTD because the showrunners in Classic Who didn't really write their own stories, so we'll do RTD next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're going to go on to
our review of Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Good stuff.
So last time the randomizer plucked out for us a new Who story, and it was Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, the second Matt Smith one we've watched in a row.
Damn you, randomizer.
Damn you. I like it when we get different doctors. But Dinosaurs on the Spaceship is a Amy and Rory story. And, well, we'll be sharing our opinions and Too Good Too Bad's etc. After Decall shares a little bit of a synopsis for us.
Okay. Well, I'll keep it quite brief because we're running out of time as always.
Yeah.
The doctor picks up a couple of people to assist him on his adventure, and that's Queen Nefertiti. Is that how you pronounce it?
Nefertiti.
Nefertiti, that's it. Yeah, the ancient Egyptian queen. And also some explorer called John Riddle, who's a made-up character, I think. He's a sort of sort of like a hunter, sort of explorer guy. He then picks up Amy and Rory, who he's not seen for quite a few months, but by materialising the TARDIS on them, not realising that Rory's dad, whose name I've forgotten, so I'm going to call him Bert.
He was called Brian.
Brian, yeah. and they
just call him Bert. That would be better.
Bert, yeah. And they materialise in this spaceship, which they find is carrying quite a strange cargo, and it's carrying some still living dinosaurs. And it turns out that the ship is effectively an ark with the Silurians trying to keep some of the ancient species alive. Unfortunately, alas, the Silurians were killed when the ship was sabotaged by David Bradley, who is playing a character called Solomon in this instance. It wasn't actually David himself, obviously, because David's a nice man. Now, Solomon he's effectively, he's pretty much dying, isn't he, really? Yeah. And it's just him and these two strange robots on the spaceship that are sort of like comedy characters. Yeah. But his intention is to sell off the dinosaurs, make a fortune on it. But what we realise is that he's pretty horrible, and he's got no morals at all, Solomon. So when push comes to shove, he's quite happy to actually kill off the dinosaurs and things like that.
I wondered why Matt Smith didn't recognise his own previous self.
Yeah, really. Exactly. He should have done, shouldn't he? Yeah. So I think that's probably enough, really. So the basic thrust of it is the Doctor trying to defeat Solomon and keep these species alive before the bit that I forgot to say. The Indian Army, was it? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
The Indian Army from blowing this spaceship out of the space. So, what's your think of this one?
This is one of the most throwaway and unmemorable stories of Doctor Who history, I would say. It does fit that category of typical episode 2. Now, there's a bunch of them in there that are typical episode 2s. Most of the episodes in New Who are typical episode 2s, and this one definitely fits that category, sort of a dull episode that isn't that memorable or isn't that great as such. It's got some good moments in as an episode, but overall, I'm not a big fan.
I would go as far as to say, actually, it's got some good moments and some bad moments.
Yes, it has. What do you think of the story? I know you're going to do a lead-in there.
No, I wasn't actually, because I couldn't get to it quick enough. I agree with you. It's very disposable, but it's not without its charm. I enjoyed watching it more this time around than I did when it was live on the telly. And when we plucked it out on the randomizer last time, it wasn't met with great reception.
It wasn't
from the Doctor Who Time and Space team.
It wasn't. No, the two of us.
So on that basis, let's think about. Or we could also think about two good things. Too good, too bad.
Too good, too bad.
Where we think about two good things about any given subject. In this instance, dinosaurs on a spaceship.
And two bad things about any given subject, as in this instance, dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Because some things are too good.
And some things are too bad.
So, too good. One apiece.
What's his name then?
Two good things. Pepper. One apiece. One good from you, one good from me.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah.
Bert.
Bert, yeah.
I love Bert.
Yeah.
He's such a great character. I think I particularly like his appearance in Power of Three, but I think he's the saving grace of Series 7 of Doctor Who. He's what makes it the third weakest series of New Who, rather than the second weakest series of New Who. Brian, no, using his wrong name.
Yeah.
Bert is really funny and entertaining, and I just like the way how he's thrust upon the adventure that is Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Adventure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like Bert. He's a great character, and I like his interactions with Rory and the 11th.
I like that. I like that very much, particularly the interactions with Rory. I think it's really good.
Yes, I think it's great, and I like the ending with Bert as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'd agree.
Although I couldn't sit on the TARDIS with tea.
But I really like that. Again, spoilers as always with this show. I love the way that Brian, I should refer to him in his proper name now, he's never liked travelling, you know, but after his trip on the TARDIS, they start receiving loads and loads of postcards from him, sort of from all over the world.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, really love that. My good, whilst I think the episode itself is fairly throwaway and quite worryingly written by Chris Chibnall, I do like the concept of the Ark with dinosaurs on, and I like the fact that we get a reference to the Silurians.
And actually a slight appearance from them as well.
Yeah.
Hologram.
Yeah. So I do like that element of it. I think, I do. I like that element of it. I just think it's a bit of a waste how they do it.
Yeah, it is. But it is.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship. I'm assuming it's got the same sort of feel as Snakes on a Plane about it. I assume that's what they were going for.
I suppose they were. Yeah. Quite a movie-based series, this one. Two bads, then. Two
bads. I know what my biggest gripe is with it, and I think you'll probably say the same thing.
Will I say? Yes, I will say the same thing, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course you can.
You probably have other things about it, because there's a few things that are wrong with this thing.
Yeah, I probably have. I can't think of it.
Is that, I think, in particular, Queen Nefertiti is an absolutely useless character in this. She's not even needing to be there. She does have a purpose towards the end of it, doesn't she? But it's fairly weak. And neither does what's her purpose? It's her act of bravery towards the end. Yeah, and John Riddle as well. Yeah, they're just useless characters. I don't know why they're there, why they're on this arc. Because I think if they're on there and they've seen all of this, and then Queen Nefertiti wants to go off and everything, that will change the whole course of history, and that's really bad. Definitely with Queen Nefertiti, because she's a real character. Yeah, I think it's a similar point to what I made when we were watching the far better episode of Human Nature, Family of Blood, which is a classic story, right? So a modern classic story, I should say. But that whole thing of it just seems a little bit odd. That why does the Doctor suddenly, for whatever reason, feel the need to bring an Egyptian queen and a explorer onto an adventure? He's never done that before. I know. You know, he said he wanted a team. Yeah. I guess the Doctor does have whims, doesn't he? But it seems like a clumsy setup for a story. It does seem like a clumsy Chibnall conundrum. Yeah. So I would agree with you on that. I'm going to go one step further on it, though. My bad is associated with the same thing, and it's an age-old one. It's the flirtatious nature of a character to the Doctor, in this instance being the Queen. That's bad. And it's just, I don't want it. Yeah, no. I understand it even, at least with David Tennant's an obviously good-looking guy, and you can understand people going a bit mushy. Matt Smith isn't. I don't think people would be going quite so mushy. I know. I don't mean obviously. I don't mean that horribly to Matt. It'd be no different if I was in the spaceship or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just it wouldn't happen. I don't think it would now, and I don't think the Queen of Nefertitiville or whatever it is would think to do that. So that's the thing that really gripes me. Yes. There's a few things. It's a common theme for New Who, and it's, I don't know, perhaps people just love a little bit of romance in things. But they don't know. The Doctor Who fans don't. I've heard that it has mostly proved unpopular, romance in Doctor Who. Okay. From what I've read. Romance is great in the right place. The Doctor and his companions isn't one of them. It's okay between like the two companions or something, or just normal human people or whatever. With the Doctor, nah. I hope Jodie Whittaker doesn't have a relationship with Bradley Walsh or tossing coal. So I mean, let's face it. So we've got the Egyptian Queen, we've got Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, and there's a number of historical characters that have had the hots for the docks. I know, it's bad. Yeah, so I think that wraps up our Too Good, Too Bad. It does. Should we do the scores? Yeah, scores and scores. Monsters.
Monsters. Who would you class in this? You've probably got to class Solomon, haven't you?
Yeah.
As the monster in this instance. David Bradley's great, actually. He's really good in it, as he always is. But no, I can only really give him sort of like a 7 or something like that.
Really? Okay. Pace.
It's quite a good pace, actually. I'll probably give it a 7 for that.
Threat.
Not really a threat at all. It's a threat to the dinosaurs. But in terms of the existence of mankind, I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay. So that's 18.
Okay.
What are the other scores? Excitement.
Excitement. Well, I mean, the whole basis of the story is meant to be really exciting, but and it's not unexciting, but it doesn't really grip me particularly. 7.
And that's 25. I could hear stuff downstairs, which is us. And what's the other score?
I can't remember what the other one is.
It's what is it?
I
have no idea.
What have we done? The threat, pace, monsters. Don't know. Let's just do the final score.
Yeah, the final score. So that's 25. Add something.
Yeah, which I probably would have given a 7.
Which okay, so let's just say the score was 32.
Yeah.
What would you rate it overall out of 10?
Probably about 6.2.
6.2. I would give it a 6.5.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, then. Well, moving on.
Yeah.
It's not that it's a bad one by any means. In fact, as I say, I enjoyed it a lot more than I had the first time round. But hopefully, well, we know what the randomizers picked, but
yes.
Hopefully it will be better than Dinosaurs on the Spaceship. What is it, Lewis?
It is a Tom Baker story this week, and it is Meglos, perhaps the one that's referred to as the weakest Tom Baker story of all time.
Great.
Can it be weaker than the Ribos Operation?
Let's hope not. Particularly as we were planning on watching
Underworld.
all 4 episodes together. In one
Underworld as well. Would it be? Do you think that's weak?
No, I liked Underworld actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion. But
yeah, I did enjoy it. Dark Horse.
Well, anyway, good. Let's be going.
Okay, so what have we got on next week's show?
Next week you can on episode 260 we should be taking a look at the Best Possible series featuring Peter Davison, the 5th Doctor.
Oh, interesting. We'll be reviewing Meglos.
We will be looking at the latest news and views.
And we should be pressing the New Who randomizer.
We will. Yes. Indeed.
Good. So how can people get hold of us?
You can talk to us at Twitter at drwhotime&space. You
can also look out for tweets from Too Good Too Bad, which occasionally appear, usually about twice a year.
Yes. You can look at Podomatic at Doctor Who Time and Space, and the Doctor Podcast Alliance on iTunes at Doctor Who Time and Space as well. You can also look at Miss Lewis Moon YouTube account and the Miss Lewis Moon at adventures.weebly.com. Fantastic. That just about wraps us up. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Thank you for sipping that cup of tea outside your TARDIS today. Yeah, on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday. Good. We shall look forward to seeing you soon. We shall do, yes. We will see you next time, same space. Goodbye. Yummy.